I'm David Skander.
I'm a Justice Burkett.
And today we're here to find out if The Thing 2011 is the greatest movie ever made.
Right now, it's at least something. A way to eliminate some of us.
So I'm gonna get killed because I floss.
Welcome to the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
That was my offensive attempt at a Norwegian accent.
I'm not sure that why I'm starting the episode in this tone of voice. I don't feel particularly bad or dejected.
You're just
I'm a little sleepy.
Pissed off at the podcast. God damn it, I gotta do this shit again.
Yeah, but the only reason is it's my fault. I did it.
We have brought this upon ourselves. We could stop whenever we want.
Yeah. A movie that is so thoroughly entertaining or compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters in your gay little Norwegian research base in Antarctica with the boys.
Tool research base.
Where you kiss and make out and then occasionally get your face fucked off by an alien.
Yeah. There's two women in this movie, which is two more than Carpenter's original film.
Yep.
And when I was watching this last night, High Priestess Pod was walking through the living room, and she was like, "There's girls in this one," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Woke has gone too far," she was joking, to be clear.
Yeah,
High Priestess Pod does not think women should be in movies, or does not think she doesn't think women should not be in movies. Is what I meant.
Right.
Yes.
I've said this since I saw the original thing.
Yeah.
It's like remake this movie with women.
With all women. Yeah.
Shit goes down differently.
Right. Well,
I don't know if that means they are more paranoid and distrusting of each other, or they band together and figure things out.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that in The Descent, because The Descent is also, a lot of The Descent is them not trusting each other.
Sure.
But they're not trusting each other for different reasons.
But I do want...
not because there's an alien that looks like them.
I do just want an alien that fucks people in half and then imitates them.
Yeah.
And has teeth in weird places.
Yeah.
But it's women.
Tummy teeth.
Also,
it's a real staple of this franchise, the tummy teeth.
The tummy teeth, yeah. They gotta bring that back.
Yeah.
I'm David, that's Justice. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about The Thing from 2011.
Yep.
First off, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I've been better because lately it's just been getting to me that I have not fucking worked out in so long. I'm probably going on like 2 solid months of like not going to the gym even once. And I have, if you skip the gym for like a week or two, you're fine. Like your body doesn't change that much. You don't lose that much strength. As long as you get back to it, you're golden. And like lately, or this year, until recently, when I had taken a break from the gym, it had been one like that, where it was like a week or two, and I came back and I was like, oh, everything's fine. This hiatus has been long enough that I'm like starting to notice like changes in my body that I'm not happy about. And being like, oh, I am. It's been so long that I'm literally losing muscle mass, and parts of my body that I wanted to be bigger are getting smaller, and parts of my body that I wanted to be smaller are getting bigger. And I'm like, I feel like ass, like my fucking self-image is in the toilet. And I know that like a thing that I could do to help with that is start working out again. But like once you've stopped for a long enough period of time, it becomes harder and harder to start again.
Yep, I know what that's like.
And so I'm just like, that's been really bothering me, and I just need to get back on that horse, so to speak. But I don't wanna because I'm lazy. So yeah, that's really been the thing that's been bugging me a lot. But I'll figure it out.
I mean, you do have a home gym.
I know, and that's one of the ridiculous things is that it's so easy.
But you're not financially suffering because of this decision.
No.
Unlike me, who continues to pay for a gym and a training program and just doesn't go.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
But
you're
I
right.
did
At least it's
go
like,
a couple times this week. But.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it is like also very frustrating for me because it's like, because I have a home gym, I have no excuse. Like, you're right that I'm like not losing any money, and that's good. But at the same time, it's like, bitch,
Yeah, you don't
go
have to,
through your garage door.
You could
pick up a
lift
weight
naked. You don't have to put on clothes and drive to a gym.
Right. I don't have to like go anywhere. I don't have, and it's like, why the fuck are you just not doing this? And the answer is because I'm lazy. Because I wake up and I like fucking start watching YouTube videos, and then I'm like, oh shit, I've been watching YouTube videos for 2 hours. I should probably do some work for my job, and then I just do that for a while, and then I'm tired and I don't wanna. And it's just like, I used to be good at this. It's now I'm bad at everything I used to be good at. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'll figure it out. Like I said. How you doing?
Do you have anything to recommend?
Oh, do I have anything to recommend? I might. And so I'm gonna look and see if I do, because sometimes when I do, I write things down. I don't know. We watched The Shrouds. That was good.
Yeah.
David Cronenberg's The Shrouds that came out last year. No, 2024. Yeah, I hadn't seen that yet. It's real sad. Very sad. Weird movie. And it rules, I think. I know it was a little divisive, but I am definitely positive on it. I liked Crimes of the Future, too. Like, late career Cronenberg is working for me. So I guess that.
Yeah, I rewatched it with you,
Yeah.
and I basically felt pretty similarly that I did the first time. It's a flawed movie, but I think it's pretty great and quite sad, and it has been making me sad since then. You asked how I was doing, and then I interrupted you, so I'm gonna.
That's fine.
We're gonna do that now. I'm good. Today's a little weird. You could probably tell.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little sleepy. Work continues to be unpredictable, and I picked up a more consistent gig helping out in another nearby northern Arizona town that will maybe be getting me more hours than the other one I was at. And I worked there yesterday, and it was really fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I was tired. It was a long day because it's a longer drive, too. And I actually just got a text for my hours tomorrow, and I start at 6:45 in the morning.
Fuck.
So that's going to be fun.
That's early.
It is quite early.
You have to be there by 6:45?
Yeah.
So you're going to need to leave at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm going to have to get up at like 4:30 or 5.
Yeah.
Hey.
That blows.
I need money, so hopefully this will result in that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just on your Sigma grind set.
Yeah.
Delivering mail
my
on
Sigma,
top of mail.
My Sigma grind set, you mean being able to live? Being able to make money to live?
Yeah, you're
and not
fucking hustling, dude.
Yeah.
Hustling to buy groceries. To pay rent.
To sustain my Safeway deli wings diet.
You gotta hustle so that you can buy cat food.
Stuff to recommend. We saw Evil Dead Burn together. I thought that was fucking great.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Go on YouTube and type in Cumtown Nick Lives in Squalor. It's like a 30-minute compilation of Nick talking about living in Chinatown and living in a shitty LA apartment.
Yeah.
I keep listening to that. I mean, I've heard it before, but it's just one that's been popping up recently. A lot for me. And I've been listening to the podcast, the now defunct podcast, Friendly Fire, because I've been watching war movies. And I've found that a lot of the movie podcasts that you and I listen to, and this movie podcast as well, apparently, don't really cover war movies that often.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't done a war movie, have we?
Yeah, like we've done stuff that's close, but not like a strictly speaking
like a real
war movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hosted by a few guys, including John Roderick, infamous Bean Dad controversy and all. But that aside, I think it's a pretty decent podcast if you're watching a bunch of war movies like I am.
Nice.
Because they will probably talk about the war movie that you saw.
Yeah. You know what's funny? this is a non sequitur, with your hair and also the cool towel that you have on your forehead because
Yeah.
it's quite hot in here.
Well, I got a sunburn too.
You kind of look like David Foster Wallace.
Oh, okay.
Just between the hair and like the towel was kind of bandana-esque. It was just kind of, you have like a guy who wrote Infinite Jest thing going on.
I have a copy of Infinite Jest
Yeah.
that I bought for $1 at the dollar store. I have not read it,
yeah.
but I did not buy it just to look cool. I bought
Yeah.
it
Because it
with
was
the
$1.
intention of reading it, and it was $1.
Yeah, I feel like if Infinite Jest is $1, that's a good enough reason to own it. It's
Yeah.
like you're not really, you're not being an asshole if you put something on your shelf for $1.
Most things are probably worth it for $1.
Yeah. I'd buy that for $1. That being Infinite Jest.
A DVD copy of the 2011 prequel of The Thing, directed by
Some Norwegian guy.
I think he's Danish,
Some
actually.
Danish guy.
Matthijs von Heijningen Jr. There's a lot of J's in there, so maybe I mispronounced. Hey,
yeah.
Norwegian guys, Dutch guys, European guys. The pronunciation's going to be a tough one on this episode.
Yeah.
Is that movie worth owning for $1? I don't know.
I think it's probably worth owning for $1. You know?
Yeah,
if
$1
you see a
max.
copy of this for $1, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is the final movie of Carpenter Copycats.
That's right.
The theme month that I have dictated and slowly regret with each passing week. But we're done.
Not
We're
a lot
done.
of bangers in Carpenter Copycats. Yeah. It's been... I think that this month has been very illuminating, partially because, like, usually when we cover a movie on this podcast, it is like... With some exceptions, we usually cover movies that have some sort of reputation of their own, right? It has been very interesting to dip into movies that sort of only have a reputation by comparison to a better movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like even the remakes that we've done, like Peter Jackson's King Kong and stuff, people don't talk about Peter Jackson's King Kong in the same way that they talk about these remakes of like, oh, it's a bad movie because... like the Carpenter movie is like this, you know, like even critics of Peter Jackson's King Kong aren't like, that movie's bad because it's not the 1930 whatever King
Right,
Kong.
It's mostly judged on its own merits.
Right,
And it's
exactly.
like-
And I feel like that has sort of been the interesting thing this month, is being like, all of these movies are not even present in the cultural zeitgeist at all anymore, except as, hey, remember when they made that bad remake to that good movie?
Yeah.
You know, like none of them had like much of a footprint beyond that, except for maybe Zombies Halloween.
Zombies Halloween, just because it's a part of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
And the Halloween fans and that kind of specific niche of horror fandom
Yeah.
likes to fixate on that stuff and argue about which installment of a 10 movie slasher franchise is underrated and
Right.
overrated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fucking horror nerds and shit.
Yeah.
Which we are.
Yeah. But I think that this month has been very much worthwhile because even though the movies have not been particularly good, it has been sort of an interesting exercise in being like, let's look at these things as what they are. In addition, we're obviously doing a lot of comparison to Carpenter ourselves, but I feel like engaging this thoughtfully with this type of movie is never something I would have done otherwise if we didn't like have to talk about it for the show.
Yeah, and in general, we don't talk about bad movies or movies with a bad negative reputation that much either.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because I like to watch movies that I expect to enjoy.
Yes, me too.
But I am also more prone to watching a bad movie or a movie that I think is going to be bad based on reputation.
Right.
Like when you pick a bad movie for the podcast, it's Shrek.
Right. Yeah, I go
which is
big.
a good movie.
I disagree. I think that movie's not good. But we've already litigated that. And you pick something really atrocious like the Emoji Movie or The Pest.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no, this month has all been somewhere in the middle.
I'm interested in hubris. I'm interested in
Yes.
in punishing us.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So The Thing.
The Thing, not the 1982 one. That's good. The 2011 one.
We should talk about that
That's
one.
bad. Yes.
We should talk about the 1982
Right.
one.
Yeah, we'll I guess that's the jumping off point, because neither of us had seen this movie before, the 2011 thing. Both of us had a pre-existing relationship to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
As most horror fans do.
And The Thing?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking great movie.
I think it's quite good. Yes.
It's a hot take.
I would say it's one of the best movies anyone has ever made, genre notwithstanding. I think it's just up there in the top, easily top 25 of best movies for me. It's probably in the top 10. The Thing is maybe. I'd have to think about this, but it's maybe my favorite horror movie. Like, they're maybe not favorite. It's maybe the horror movie that I think is the best. You know, because there are movies that I like connect to more, like Mandy or something, where I'm like, oh, I feel like more emotionally moved by Mandy.
Right, personal favorites versus trying to look at things with some degree of objectivity.
Right, and objectively, I'm not going to try and convince somebody that Mandy is better than The Thing. I'm going to be like, no, The Thing is better. Like, it's one of the best movies anyone's ever made, and it was a huge flop when it came out. But obviously now its reputation is very much it's one of the sacred objects of horror filmmaking. Like, people, it's basically unimpeachable at this point. Like, nobody is going to tell you that The Thing's not good unless they're fucking very stupid.
Yeah, the reputation of the movie is kind of speaks for itself at this point, and there's not a lot. I mean, everyone knows about The Thing. Everyone knows that it was hated upon its release. Everyone knows that, you know, Rob Bottin was like 25 or whatever when he made these incredible practical effects.
Crazy.
You know, John Carpenter. It's in the middle of like John Carpenter's legendary run of his early classics. I did not watch this movie until a few years ago, and I had been anticipating seeing it for a very long time, and I thought it was okay the first time I saw it. And I think it's a testament to how my tastes have changed over the years, and how I've become more of a fan of horror movies and more of a fan of practical effects and the vibe of these types of 80s creature features, that I've come to see The Thing as one of my favorite movies of all time. It's probably on the lower end of like my top 100 list. I think there's other stuff that I prefer more to it, like Alien and Aliens are among, like, both in my top 10 movies of all time, and probably my favorite horror movies. Some other stuff, but it's hard to deny how important The Thing is. I think there's a case to be made that if it had been a financial and critical success at the time, it would have changed John Carpenter's career trajectory forever.
Yeah, probably.
Like, he famously grew sick and tired of Hollywood by the end of the 80s, and got sick of the studio system. And that's why he sits on his couch and plays video games these days and smokes weed.
Yeah, and if this movie had been a huge hit, like, maybe he would have stuck around and made, bigger budget movies for a while.
Right, and he made great movies after this.
Yeah.
And even his stuff into the 90s is not without merit. And he definitely had a few successes. But if The Thing had been a success upon its release, the way that we view it now, it would have been totally different.
Yeah.
Things would have gone totally differently for him. Of course, it is an adaptation of the short story Who Goes There, and also a remake of the Howard Hawks produced film, The Thing from Another World.
Yes.
Which was an adaptation of Who Goes There. Have you seen The Thing from Another World?
I have not. I have never seen the first adaptation of this story into film. No.
I have.
Yeah.
It's not good. There's definitely some iconic imagery in it and some moments of like tension and atmosphere that I think Carpenter sort of translated almost 1-to-1 to his version. The Thing is not so much of a thing as it is a guy.
Yeah.
He's just a big guy.
But you can't call it the guy from another world.
I think you could. But it's like it's kind of hokey in the way that like 50s B movies are sometimes, but I don't think that's like a charming. I don't think it's like I don't think it works for me. And it's also just like there's a lot of there's like 15 dudes on screen talking all at once, way too casually about the fact that there's a thing in the other room.
Yeah. And
there's vast stretches of the movie that I think the tension is completely sucked out of things. So I'm a little surprised that it had such a profound impact on Carpenter. You know, he included it as a reference in Halloween. Rob Zombie saw fit to do the same thing twice in his Halloween remake.
Well, you know, Rob Zombie, we discussed it last week, but a little bit of a more is more guy. Guy.
Subtlety, not exactly his strong suit for the most part. Carpenter recreated the title sequence using the exact same special effects techniques that they'd used in the 50s.
Nice.
In his version, where they it's like plastic trash bags on the back of a fish tank that they use a heat gun to like melt them away, and that's how you get that effect.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I also like that Carpenter kind of does a nod to that original movie by having like a shitty little flying saucer crash land on Earth as the very first image of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Which owns.
Yeah, it's just like a dinky little UFO.
Yeah, it's like a little fucking like 60s Star Trek spaceship, and it's just like woo woo woo, and then you see it hit the Earth.
I think it's pretty safe to say that the original Thing is a perfect movie.
Yeah, totally.
Would it be better without that scene?
No, I like it.
You like the scene?
I like the shitty little UFO hitting Earth. I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I think it is like Carpenter doing like a really nice nod to like where this story came from. He's like, this is it came from outer space. This is one of those things, And we're growing up for the 80s. We're making it a little bit more serious and adult, but it's like, how did the thing get under the ice? I don't know. It was in a flying saucer. I like that it's Carpenter just being like, this part of it is fine. We don't need to examine this further. We don't need to know about the thing's origins. It showed up in a flying saucer.
Right. Does it spoil the surprise of the thing later, do you think? At all?
I don't know.
Because I have the same thing about Predator. Because Predator and the Thing open very similarly, where it's like spaceship flying through space, shows up at Earth.
Yeah.
And then we forget about it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And come back to it.
No, I mean, I don't think so. Because I think, like, where the tension comes from in Carpenter's The Thing is not, oh, what is this thing? What's going on? Because, like, even if you didn't have the fucking UFO shot at the beginning, then we would just open with Norwegian guy being like, shoot that thing. It's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. Listen to me, you idiots. Right. And
it definitely is some sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what he says. It's some sort of thing.
We're going to be saying thing a lot.
Well, it is the thing. It's the thing we're talking about. Yeah, no, I feel like that scene serves the same purpose as the UFO hitting Antarctica, where it's like, from the jump that this shit is, that there's a monster, there's something wrong. And the tension does not come from what's going to happen. Oh no, like it doesn't come from not knowing that there is a threat. It comes from not knowing where the threat is hiding, right? Like, it's like when you learn the nature of the thing, that does not so much resolve tension as it does ramp up the tension, because now it's like, well, this could be anyone. So I don't think the UFO thing, to me, I don't think that it would be better if there was like more mystery there. It's like, no, we know it's a space alien. The thing that is like keeping me on the edge of my seat is not, is this a space alien or not? It's who the fuck is it? Like, which, and are we gonna, is the group gonna destroy itself? Is it gonna cannibalize itself? Thinking that somebody is the thing when they're not, which is really the thing that the first movie is. That's like the fulcrum on which everything else rests in that first movie, is like, it's part of what is tense as the viewer is who's the monster, but I would say equal or greater part of the tension in that first movie is, are these guys going to tear themselves apart, tear each other apart, looking for the monster that may or may not even be there, right? And yeah, I think that's the most effective thing about that first movie, and we'll talk about how this movie, attempts to use the same concept, sometimes successfully and sometimes not. But
yeah, I think the first movie's reputation is really banked on the just bears repeating incredible practical effects that still look amazing to this day.
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing that works about the thing, yeah.
Is there another word we can use?
Can we find another word for the thing?
The quality that makes the thing work.
The paranoia, the tension between the characters, the way Carpenter builds atmosphere, builds that tension, and just like the shot composition in that movie, the editing in that movie. There is so much build up to the climactic moments where the thing makes an appearance.
Yeah. And it's really a perfect synthesis between the two that makes that movie perfect to me, because the build-up is so incredibly tense, and then the payoff is literally crazier than anything you could have possibly imagined. So it's like, it feels like it successfully does both things, where it's like, we are ratcheting up the tension so high that I cannot imagine anything breaking this tension and feeling satisfying, and then you see what breaks the tension and you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
in the 2000s, the gentleman responsible for the Dawn of the Dead remake, not Zack Snyder, but the producers who got the Dawn of the Dead remake off the ground, were shopping around ideas for another remake that they could do, and the thing came up.
Yeah.
And this was put into development, had a kind of a long development cycle. And there was, from the director's point of view, there was a lot of care taken to respect Carpenter's original, to try to recreate the elements that made that one successful by emphasizing paranoia and tension and atmosphere, focusing on practical effects whenever possible, and trying to add some new things to the formula, like throwing in a couple of ladies.
Yep.
Which they got inspiration from. They got inspiration from Alien.
Yes.
To bring on
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character is very clearly modeled after Ripley.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's frozen Ripley. She's cold Ripley. She's a little chilly.
Yes. She's also like a scientist instead of just like a blue collar worker.
Yeah, they wanted to make the character scientists more explicitly, and have that factor into the dialogue and the themes of the film. And they brought on the great Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. from ADI to do elaborate practical effects. And you can see the behind-the-scenes video online about what these effects look like.
You can see some of them in the finished film.
There are some,
yes,
like shots here and there where you see something that's practical.
Yeah.
The autopsy, the corpse of the alien that is hosting the thing, or maybe is the thing itself. It's ambiguous in the film. That is all practical.
Mm-hmm.
When it's laying out on a fucking operating table, that's all practical.
Yep, and there's some shots in various action sequences. An occasional close-up will be something practical,
But enter Universal, who holds test screenings for the film, and they interpret the reactions to those test screenings as negative. They said that the practical effects made it look, quote, too much like an 80s film. Do you know what movie you guys are making?
Yeah. Also, it's like set in the 1980s, so maybe doing an 80s aesthetic for your prequel set in the 80s would not be a bad thing.
And
instead of it being a prequel that looks like it takes place 20 years after the original movie.
Yeah. So they demanded reshoots. So basically, I think they redid some of the shots of the film with the practical effects. Like, they just shot new scenes of the thing popping out, and then also just kind of CGI'd over the practical effects that were already present.
Yeah.
ADI described, Alec Gillis from ADI described the process as like very difficult, and they didn't understand how the effects were made and the way that, like, we built this effect so you can only shoot it from this angle. If you want to shoot it from a different angle, we'll have to build something different.
Yeah.
Which is how they did the effects in the original. Well,
yes. Every
different shot of an effect in the original is a different effect built by Rob Bottin.
Yes.
So they just put a bunch of PS3 Resident Evil monsters in the movie.
Yeah.
This led Alec Gillis and the team at ADI to crowdfund their own practical effects thing-inspired film called Harbinger Down, which I have not seen, but I've hoped to watch it before this, but time was not on my side this week, and it's basically the thing on a boat.
Oh.
With Lance Henriksen.
Oh.
And it uses all practical effects.
Okay. I'm interested.
But like, these are the guys. These guys have worked on Alien.
Yeah.
Tom Woodruff Jr. was the guy in the xenomorph suit for the later Alien movies. He's credited in this movie, so he's presumably the guy in the Thing suit that we don't see.
Yeah.
Because he's been replaced by a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah. By some Dead Space monsters.
Yeah, and this thing flopped on its release.
Yep.
And
much
was
like the
critically
original thing.
derided.
Yeah.
I would argue that this flopped and was critically derided for good reasons, as opposed to the first movie.
To the original, yeah.
And the director has expressed regret about the reshoots and about the CGI. But if you look at his credits, like, this is really the only movie that he's made. He has a couple of others, but it definitely seems like he was in a bad position, and he wasn't able to negotiate with Universal to get this thing to deliver the proper film that a story like this deserves.
Right.
If telling a prequel story to the thing is at all a worthy undertaking to begin with, right?
Yeah. Which, like, I was thinking about this a lot when I was watching the movie. Is like, is there a prequel to the thing that is a good idea and worth making and enhances the original, or at least, earns its right to exist, And I'm like, I kind of think so, because I think that the thing is it's an example of a movie where it's like, it's kind of asking for a prequel a little bit, because you see all the shit that went down at the Norwegian research station in Carpenter's original, and it's like, there is a part of me that is like, I like this story so much, I like this movie so much, that seeing what happened to get all of these pieces into this, the places where Kurt Russell and co find them, is interesting to me. It's like, yeah, sure, we can see what goes down at the Norwegian base. I think that that's a movie worth making, potentially, is sort of where I landed on it. And I don't think it takes, I mean, obviously, even though the movie that we got isn't, has a lot of problems, obviously, I don't think that it takes anything away from the original, right? And so it's like, yeah, I feel like there's a version of this movie that could have been better, and people would be like, oh yeah, The Thing, masterpiece, and then that prequel, that's pretty interesting. That's okay,
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the movie that we ended up with, but I don't think it was like doomed from the start in the same way that I feel like Rob Zombie's Halloween was, where it's like you just shouldn't be remaking Halloween, where and like I feel like a prequel to The Thing is less of a fool's errand to begin with, and the things that are wrong with this movie are not. I would even say the things that are wrong with this movie are not only not stemming from it being a prequel to Carpenter's The Thing. I would say that the stuff that's wrong with this movie is, I think, mostly has nothing to do with the Carpenter movie at all. By contrast to something like the Fog remake, where it's like the Fog remake, it's like it is so beholden to Carpenter's movie that is like a bad thing. And also, any changes that it just makes bad changes. Whereas this one, it feels like it's way less beholden to Carpenter's movie, except that it has to get, like, a fire axe into a door at one point because Kurt Russell finds that. And there has to eventually be a guy with the two faces melding together or whatever. But it's like, everything else, this movie kind of has freedom to do what it wants. And I feel like a lot of the choices that it makes that are bad are independent of the original movie.
I agree and I disagree. I think this movie is more beholden to the Carpenter movie than we would like to admit. I think it is. It is maybe not exactly the Fog levels or even Zombies Halloween when it gets to when it finally becomes the Laurie Strode show in the second hour. But you can feel the nods and the plot threads and the scenes that are referencing Carpenter's movie just like always threatening to come out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, okay, so like Joel Edgerton is clearly like a substitute for Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
There's another guy who like it makes sense because you have to have a dog in there at some point. But there's the guy who is kind of quiet and loves his dogs.
Yeah.
They do like their own version of the blood test scene,
then
the blood gets sabotaged. It's
the blood test scene, but so much worse. Which is really funny.
Yeah, you can. That's always under the surface.
That is the scene where I'm like, this is the scene that suffers the most by comparison to the original. Is the blood test scene?
Yeah.
But yeah.
We got flamethrowers and we got standoffs and all of that stuff is there.
Yeah.
I don't think it is like beat for beat the original The Thing necessarily, but I also don't know what any additional insight someone would gain from watching this.
Right.
In addition to The Thing.
Yeah.
As far as the prospect of doing the prequel to The Thing, yeah, I could see it. I could see it potentially working. I'm always like, if you want to do it in a comic book, I'll read that comic book.
For sure.
You want to put Snake Plissken and Jack Burton meeting up in a comic book, which they did.
Yeah.
I'll read that. I haven't read it. I should, though.
That's cool.
What they should do is do The Thing, but instead of different time periods, like I often say, different genres. Like a romantic comedy, but someone's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't know it's they're on a date at the Italian restaurant and the camera starts cutting back and forth between them quickly and they're acting awkward.
Yeah.
Oh no, which one's the thing?
Uh-oh, you better not kiss. You might get thinged. Yeah, we talk about war movies. Could do a Thing war movie. Where it's like there's a battle going on, but also the Thing is there. One side has the Thing.
Yeah, or a bunch of paratroopers drop into Normandy and they get scattered and
well, then that's another
lost,
time period
and
thing.
then they're well, yeah, it is a time period thing too. Yeah. I don't know. You're out in an outpost in the middle, or a shack somewhere in the middle of Afghanistan, and
Yeah.
The Thing shows up.
You could do slapstick comedy, The Thing.
Oh, that would be the movie is practically tailor made for
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You just throw a laugh track onto that bitch and like you got one.
Yeah. It's like a guy is actually the Thing, and anytime he feels like threatened or awkward or whatever, he like involuntarily transforms into a huge tentacle monster. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't control it. Oh, this just happens.
Like you're saying, this movie does obviously suffer in comparison to Carpenter's original, but I also think it suffers in comparison to other horror, like cosmic horror,
Right.
body horror movies of the era and of today. And it also just kind of fails on its own merits.
This is what I was getting at. Is
Yeah.
I think that this movie could have stayed as beholden as it is to the Carpenter original and done the nods that it does and been good. I think what is mostly responsible for making this movie bad is its own fault. You know, I think it's just shit that it does independently that doesn't work. And like one of the prime examples of this for me is that the Carpenter original is so character focused. We get to know all of these guys, even the guys that you know a little bit less have really economical things written into their characters where you can like latch onto them.
and like visually they all look pretty distinct too.
Yes. This movie has no characters in it. No, there is nobody with any kind of... I don't need, like, big lore dumps and backstory and stuff. This is not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is let me know who the fuck anybody is.
Right.
Even Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the lead of the movie, who I think is good. I think the actress is good in this movie. The character is nothing. Like, even the lead of the movie, you get nothing. And it's just because every line of dialogue in this movie is about the Thing. Like, it's all, like, basically from the beginning of the movie, all anyone is talking about is the alien that we found in the ice. Either we're excited about the alien we found in the ice, or we're scared of the alien that we found in the ice, or we're trying to kill the alien we found in the ice. Nobody ever talks about anything else. And it's like, hey, how you get characters in a movie, like, is by having them talk to each other, and through the dialogue you can kind of begin to glean a sense of their personality and stuff. If you only have them talking about the plot and nothing else, you end up with a bunch of people sitting around and talking about the movie they're in, but you end up not knowing who anybody is. And that is like the biggest issue with this movie, in my opinion, is that Carpenter's movie takes some time. We do some table setting where there's no thingening happening, and everybody is just
No thingening?
There's no thingening happening.
I want to see how that's spelled.
I'll take yeah. The crossword puzzle answer, or it's a Scrabble word, and it's like worth a shit ton of
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's no alien shenanigans going on in that first movie, that's when you get to know everybody. So, you know, you get to know what's Windows' deal, what's Wilford Brimley's deal, and in this movie, there's just none of that, you know. And by the time people start dying in this movie, it's like, I should give a shit about some of this. I should give a shit that the one other woman in this movie is like turning into a thing, but I don't, because I don't know anything about this lady. I don't even know what her job, like, I know she's a geologist. That's the only thing they tell us. And it's like, okay, geologist number 2 is now the Thing, whatever, you know? And yeah, it's just like that. To me, that's like the big problem here, is that it fundamentally misunderstands that the first movie is like character driven, and all of the other stuff that happens is a way for us to see interesting character dynamics and like interesting interactions between these people who we care about. And in this movie, they're like, no, what you like about the Thing is that there's a big scary monster, right? And it's like, the big scary monster is part of it, but like that, it's not even really the main element of the movie that we like the most. You know?
Yeah, the movie definitely attempts or starts hinting at maybe there's going to be something bigger going on with these characters. From the fact that it establishes very clearly in the first scene that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the lead of the movie.
Yeah.
We think of Kurt Russell as the lead of the thing, but that's because he kind of becomes that along the way.
Right.
But much like the original Alien, it's an ensemble until we start picking people off. But this movie's very upfront. Like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the protagonist of the film. It seems like she has some sort of undefined pre-existing relationship with Adam.
Yeah.
It starts hinting at maybe something between her and Joel Edgerton, and then she has a conflict with the guy in charge of the expedition.
Yes.
Because he's trying to keep this thing under wraps and going about things in a different way.
Yeah.
For no real reason.
He has like weird villain energy before he's even the thing.
Yeah.
Like before we've even gotten the thing out of the ice, he has weird villain energy.
But it's very ill-defined, and it just sort of seems like an excuse to manufacture tension rather than develop. Like, you could do something with the character. You could do like a Weyland-Yutani corporate scumbag thing with him.
Yeah.
But just having him occasionally make, weird eyes at Mary Elizabeth Winstead, or like make comments about like, don't contradict me in front of the men, without going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
The downtime in between the horror, there's like less downtime to begin with.
Right.
But we don't get, God, man, sorry, I'm so scattered, but
No, you're good.
like the downtime in the original, when like Kurt Russell's making the audio logs, or they're fortifying certain places, or checking things out, it's like it shows you the toll and the passage of time that these events are occurring on these guys.
Yeah. We give the characters time to react and respond to their circumstances, and you kind of see them adapting, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it feels like it's like, oh, scary monster just busted through the wall, so we all have to run to a different room. And then it's like, okay.
And then we just repeat that
Yeah,
over and
yeah,
over.
yeah.
And it does sound like the original cut had more of a slower, tension-filled pacing to the original, and then Universal had them reshoot it and recut it.
Yeah. I will say in the second act of this movie, when things do slow down a little bit, that's my favorite stuff in the movie. My favorite parts of this movie is the sections when you go the longest without seeing the thing. And I'm like, hey, you're almost sort of successfully emulating the original movie here. It's less good, but you are almost tapping into what I liked about the first movie. We are kind of just sitting with the fear here for a little bit, and they just never do it enough of it. There's just too little of it, because then, a screeching CGI monster has to pop up and do a jump scare, which also this movie is full of cheap, ineffective jump scares. Again, just fundamentally misunderstanding what made the first movie scary. Because what makes the first movie scary is one of the reasons that the original Thing is such a good horror movie is because it is so effectively scary in a way that so many other movies aren't. The general rule of thumb in horror movies is what you don't see is scarier than what you do.
Right.
That is the accepted logic, right? It's like, do things off screen, hide things from the audience, because whatever's in their imagination is not going to be as bad as what you could show them. John Carpenter and Rob Bottin in The Thing are like, no, fuck that. What is scariest is what you do see, right? And what makes the original work as a horror movie is that there are not a lot of jumps, right? The scariest parts of the Thing, right? The tension that we talked about is one element, but the other scary thing about the original The Thing is watching a guy's head fucking separate from his body and turn into an alien crab monster. And the slowness, the how drawn out that process is, and how gross and goopy and visceral and disgusting it is what is scary about the Thing. Like watching a body melt and reform itself into like an alien creature slowly as other people are looking on in shocked terror and like can't move because they are so overwhelmed with fear at the thing they're witnessing. Like that is what works about those sequences.
Right.
And it happens so fast in this movie. People's bodies just explode into tentacles in 2 seconds.
This is a huge problem with this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a huge problem with modern horror movies in general. When I say modern, I mean like the last 20 years.
Right.
Since the advent of CGI, and CGI has effectively replaced practical gore in most mainstream horror films.
Yeah.
Is the multiple shots and editing that is required to make a practical effect work in just from a technical sense, like the technical limitations of a practical gore effect in the 80s. The multiple shots that you have to do and the multiple setups are intrinsic to making that scare surprising and shocking.
Yes.
Showing me a guy getting stabbed with a CGI machete and blood squirting through his chest in one continuous shot is not scary.
Yeah.
It's not shocking. It is shocking. It's shocking, but it lacks sustained terror,
yes,
which the thing is able to accomplish.
Yes.
When the fucking the blood test scene,
yeah,
in the thing, when he tests the petri dish and the thing jumps off of the petri dish, and I think it's I don't remember what guy it is, but his body starts shaking and his head starts extending and pulling off.
Yeah.
Cutting between the Robotine effects and the actors reacting,
yes,
and
the
drawing
actors who are
that
like
out,
tied up next to him, helpless, watching this happen. Yeah.
And in this movie, we have a guy in a helicopter whose face just kind of crumbles into CGI goop. And doing that all in one continuous shot and making it happen so quickly robs the scares of any tension. Like, barring the fact that it's CGI and it just doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. It is the way that these scares are constructed that really, really pales in comparison to the original. And to, again, horror movies of the 80s in general, because I could say this, Friday the 13th knew how to do this.
Yeah.
Like, even when they were restricted by MPAA laws and
right,
parent groups in the later movies, and the theatrical versions lack a lot of the gore that you expect, they still know how to structure those kills and structure those scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just fucks with the pacing of the scene. And they try and make up for it by having it happen really fast with a loud noise that jump scares you, right? And the tension is so much less effective in this movie. So when the jump comes, it doesn't work. The only fucking jump scare in this movie that actually got me, because this movie is like full of them in a way that the original is not. There's like two in that original movie. It's the petri dish and then the chest opening up with the teeth, right? Are like kind of the two jumps in that original
Yeah, there's
movie.
also like a guy who walks down a hallway and there's a kind of effect too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we didn't rewatch it for this, but yeah, I did see it fairly recently.
But the original movie does not rely on that. This movie very heavily is like, we're a 2011 horror movie. There's going to be a jump scare every like 5 minutes.
Well, and again, the jump scares in the original,
yeah,
those two that you mentioned, it's not just like, oh, the chest opens up and that's it. Like it is like a long extended sequence.
Yep.
Where you get a chance to sit and ruminate with everything that's happening on screen.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
It keeps your pulse pounding.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It pisses me off so much that the most effective scare in this movie for me is the fake out of a Norwegian literally just shouting the word boo after a long silence. It pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because
is that like late into the
It's early. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
like
think they did another fake out that was late into the movie.
Yeah, I think there's another fake out later.
I was very tired when I watched this. So.
But like the one I'm talking about is, so they find the thing in the ice in Antarctica. They recruit Mary Elizabeth Winstead and this Adam guy. I didn't know this actor, but they recruit a couple of Americans because we need people to justify why everyone's speaking English in this movie. Which also, that's another note that I would give the writers of the screenplay. It's like, just make everyone Norwegian and have them just speak English anyway. Nobody will care. Or just do it the whole movie in Norwegian and it's all subtitled. Who cares? I just think it's annoying that there's American characters just as a plot device to get everybody to speak English. But
I'll comment on that, but continue with your point.
But so they get this shit out of the ice, and it's still like they cut a big block of ice with the thing in it and bring it inside. And then there's the moment where like one of the American helicopter guys is just looking at the frozen alien, and it's a really, really long. Like, it's a couple minute long sequence of him very slowly walking down the stairs and leaning very slowly over the block of ice. And we keep getting, like, shots from inside the block of ice. And so it's clearly setting up for a jump scare because it gets really, really quiet for a really long time. And we're just looking at this guy looking at this frozen alien. And despite the fact that it was such an obvious setup for a jump scare, I still fucking jumped when that Norwegian guy comes up behind him and goes, boo!
Oh, right. Okay.
And I'm like, fuck you. Like, first of all, obviously that was going to get me. It's the cheapest fucking thing you could possibly do. And also, how dare that be the only well-executed jump scare in your movie? Is a fake out of a guy saying the word that you used to jump scare someone.
So I checked this out from the library.
Yeah.
And that's when the DVD started skipping. Is that scene?
Funny.
So I pulled it out and tried to clean it off and put it back in.
Yeah.
And it was still skipping, so I got frustrated. So I paid $4 to rent this piece of shit. Because it's not. I would have. You could have stuck a gun to my head, and I would have told you this bitch is on Tubi.
No.
But
no, it's not streaming for free anywhere.
No, so I had to. Well, because I don't have a computer to stream it from the the 7 Seas.
Yeah.
I had to give Jeff Bezos money, I guess.
Yeah.
For this fucking podcast.
Yeah, me too.
So when I went back to that scene, it was like I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And I was distracted by the fact that the payoff was a giant bunch of CGI bullshit jumps into the roof.
So like, I'm gonna be so real. I was kind of rocking with this movie the tiniest bit for the first like 20-25 minutes or so. I was like, hey, a lot of these shots, these like helicopter shots of frozen Antarctica or wherever they filmed this, obviously not really in Antarctica. I don't know where we are that's standing in for it, but it looks really good. A lot of this shit looks really good. I know that some of the landscapes are also CGI assisted. That CGI actually looks fine to me. Except for later. There's a spot later when the helicopter crashes where it looks like a bunch of doo-doo dog shit. But early in the movie, I'm like, this is looking okay, And then Mary Elizabeth Winstead's here. I like her as an actress. I think she's doing very good.
Great actress.
Yes.
Amazing actress.
Yes. And so until the moment where that fucking CGI Gleep Glop jumps out of that big block of ice, I was like, am I going to like this movie? Like, I kind of don't hate this. And, before that moment, we do the thing where we're singing the Norwegian song. We're all getting drunk and we're like, hey, we found an alien. This is awesome. You know? And that scene, I was like, this is almost something. I am almost at risk of learning something about any of these guys and giving a shit about them, And so I was like, maybe if we keep going like this, I know that there's bad CGI in this movie, but maybe I'll be able to overlook it. And then the 1-2 punch of the boo jump scare and me being like, that is such a cheap fake out and I fucking hate it. And then right after that, the block of ice bursts open and we go from 0 to 100 where it's like there was nothing, like nobody thought that there was any risk of anything, and now suddenly there is a full-on extraterrestrial alien terrorizing the Antarctica base. I'm like, I fucking hate this decision because the whole thing in the first movie is how slowly the situation develops and how slowly things start falling apart, right? Because initially it's like Wilford Brimley is learning about the thing and he's like, oh fuck, this isn't just like, it doesn't just replicate, it's gonna like take over the whole world. And then he starts trashing shit.
Yeah, when he types into his apocalypse computer.
Yes, yeah. God, that scene, just to talk about the John Carpenter, the thing for half a second, the scene with Wilford Brimley trashing all the computers with a fire axe and then shooting a gun at Keith David, and then once the gun is out of bullets, throwing the gun at the wall while he's yelling like a madman. Truly one of the best scenes that anyone has ever put in a movie. That thing didn't want to be a dog. That thing wanted to be us. I love that shit so much. I'll kill you. Just, man, Wilford Brimley yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, put me on an IV
rest in
drip of
peace,
that.
man.
Yeah.
The diabetes finally got him.
Yeah. And the bad political beliefs, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Just rotted his soul. So instead of us kind of slowly realizing how big the threat is, and it kind of like the paranoia slowly building among the group until it is at sort of this apocalyptic fever pitch. Instead of that, we go from, woohoo, we found an alien in a block of ice, to, okay, now there's like a giant monster fully alive and, is just rampaging across the compound. And I'm like, you can't undermine the tension of your movie this much. This is going to throw the whole balance of this thing completely off. And wouldn't you know it does. Because the problem is, instead of taking incremental steps up in tension and like the severity of the situation, it just turns into big screeching CGI monster downtime, big screeching CGI monster downtime.
Right.
Right. And it's just like, I'm not interested in that from this movie.
Yeah, I was sort of approaching this movie with healthy skepticism, but also trying to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
For the first 20 minutes. And the snowcat gets stuck in a fissure, and they find the ship underneath it, which is the pre-title sequence. How do they get the snowcat out of there? I don't fucking know. How are those guys not dead?
Great question. Yeah.
They do the...
I like that they also find a much more convenient entrance to the crash site in 2 days.
They eventually do that.
Yeah.
The title sequence is like digitally doing some of those like dissolve effects, but with like a different font. It feels like a slightly different variation. We got John Carpenter's own Albertus font in the opening credits of this movie. That's the first time that's happened in this series.
Yeah.
So far, this month. Mary Elizabeth's here. Cool. We're going to check out the thing. We're going under the ice. The set looks a little bit hokey, but it kind of makes it feel like an 80s movie. That CGI breath is kind of throwing me off.
Yeah.
Wow, they found this alien creature. Is this actually the thing, or is this another alien race that's a host to the thing?
Yeah. I do like that we don't
get
get an answer on that, because I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think the original ending had made it clear that like the crew of this crashed spaceship were infected with the thing.
Yeah.
And then they replaced it with whatever the fuck that Tetris beam is, or whatever.
Shit sucks so bad.
ADI built this, or after, even after the fucking shit jumps out of the ice.
Yeah.
We get the creature on the autopsy table, and it's this gorgeous ADI built practical effect.
Yeah.
And even the way it's shot and the way it looks, like you never get a really good sense of what it looks like. It's like really effective filmmaking.
Yeah, it's got all these crazy bug legs and stuff.
And
it kind of has like a stomach vagina that opens up.
Yeah.
And honestly, even in the scene where it attacks, I don't like that we're going straight to giant monster attack in this movie. But I do like that in some of those shots of the first attack, it is a practical thing. There are shots.
There's some shots of it, yeah.
Yeah, in the very first attack, where some of the close-ups of it like opening its like weird stomach vagina mouth thing. It's like, oh, that's just a puppet, that's just a shot of a real thing. And even when they burn it in when it like tries to jump up into the building and they end up burning that first building, and the like legs are sticking through the sides, some of the shots are CGI, some of them are practical. It mostly looks pretty good. And I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna work better than I thought. And yeah, same thing with it on the autopsy table and them like opening it up, and there's the guy that's like being assimilated inside, and that looks awesome. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like the when they drill into the block, and there's a little bit of flesh stuck to the drill, and they put it in a petri dish. There's like an ominous kind of shot and musical sting with it. I was like, oh, it would be. I mean, I know that we're supposed to have the ice be opened up at some point, as according to Carpenter's thing, but it would be kind of cool if like this whole all starts with just that little sample, then that leads to the,
the thing
it starts replicating and stuff like that. Like, that would be really cool.
That's what I thought was going to happen, and then it's like it's not that. But.
And going back to what you said a few minutes ago about the language, I really like the language barrier in this movie. I like that adds some tension between the Norwegians and the Americans.
You know what? You are right about that.
It could have been taken further.
Yeah.
And I think, again, thinking of better versions of this movie in my head, because that's what I do a lot when a movie isn't working for me, I guess. If they had done like a more Cold War influence to the thing, where it's like Russians and Americans, that is like that would be just inherent to the story.
You know what is a weird thing that this movie does? It kind of tries to make Norwegians seem somehow like untrustworthy, or like these guys, oh, watch out for these Norwegians, because there's like the line on the helicopter where I think it's Joel Edgerton is like, oh, make sure you're out of here in 48 hours because there's a storm rolling in, and the last place you want to be is, locked up with 12 Norwegians. And it's like, is there a reputation
in the 80s
that
definitely
these guys
not.
have? Yeah.
In the 90s, there's a few black metal bands I could name that added to Norway's reputation. You don't want to be
in station in Antarctica, and it's just a bunch of guys in corpse paint.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Antarctica with Varg, especially if there's a church around.
Welcome to Tool Base. This is Grishnak, Count Grishnak.
Yeah, I took picture of the thing after it killed my friend, and I put it on album cover. It's very cult. True cult.
True cult. I think we should all surrender ourselves to the thing. Human extinction is good.
Yeah, if the thing leads to the downfall of Christianity, overall it's a win for humanity.
Yeah. Where is your God now?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing can play guitar on my new demo. Christian raping black metal fuckface. I'm going to print 1,000. I'm only going to print 100 copies, and they all come with a small little baggie of ashes from a church that I burnt.
They all come with a DNA sample of the thing. I'm going to intentionally expose myself to the thing so I can be better at drums, having so many arms. I will be so good at blast beats when I have 6 arms.
But it'll still sound like shit, because I will record it in a cave.
In the ice cave with the spaceship. Yeah. The spaceship also looks like ass. The design is bad.
It does feel like the end of I don't know why I was thinking of the end of Black Panther. Yeah, it's like now we're just in a video game,
right? We're just in like a big empty CGI hallway.
Yeah.
The thing that I think was bothering me the most about it is it's too big. The spaceship is like the size of like a skyscraper. It's fucking enormous. Like they get into the underground cave and they're like, look at this spaceship that we found. And I'm like, you mean this endless gray slab that just goes on for what looks like miles? It's like, make it smaller so that I can tell what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I don't remember what the spaceship looks like in the original when they find it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is funny when I think it's Wilford Brimley is building a little rinky-dink flying saucer
That's so funny.
in the bottom of the ice.
It's so funny that
underneath
the
ice.
thing is like, I'll just like make a little escape ship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a hot rod.
But I don't remember what the spaceship looks like in the original. Yeah, it is maybe. It's too big. It's very over-designed. It feels like a fucking spaceship from Independence Day.
Yeah.
Where it's got she's like, there's a point where there's these,
the like vertical blinds.
yeah,
on
these
it
like
open
blinds
up.
open up, and she's like
Yeah.
gonna fall in.
Yeah.
And she's like slipping and sliding across it. I'm like, I feel like we're in a sort of a different movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it could be done better.
Yeah, I just don't like how it looks.
Yeah.
It was the design of it was not striking to me at all. It was to the point where when I was looking at it, I was like, I can't even really tell what I'm looking at. It just looks like a big gray slab under the ice, you know. And even if that is what, because it's been a few years since I saw the Carpenter thing. It's like even if that is what it looks like in that movie, just change it a little bit. Nobody's gonna fucking shit their pants if it looks good, you know. But whatever, you know. Another thing that is bad about this movie is
You mean another thing that's bad about the thing?
yeah.
Is that where you're
Another element.
trying to prevent yourself from saying?
another element of this film that does not work for me. Just try and use that word.
We
use
are
the word
saying
thing as little.
We are saying thing a lot in this movie in
Yeah.
reference to the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I remember them doing it that much in the original.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I just feel like we were throwing thing around a lot, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because what the hell is that
Oh,
thing?
yeah, you don't know what to call it. It's a thing.
Yeah.
You know what? You see it and you're like, that's a thing. There's not really any other word for it. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, that thing really is.
It's definitely a thing.
It's a thing. No, another thing that sucks that we've sort of danced around but have not addressed specifically is the CGI of the thing itself. Because I think that there are
Yes.
ways that it sucks that are specific.
Yes.
I think this is not even that bad in terms of, in the grand scheme of bad movie CGI. I think the CGI in this movie is obviously bad, but I don't think it is like, I don't think that the thing that is most bad about it is how not photorealistic it is, right? Because it's like, sure, like it does look a little bit like janky, video gamey, whatever. But I think beyond that, I think partially it is because the shots were composed in many cases to have the focus be a practical thing, and we're just painting over it with CGI.
Right.
So the shot is not suited to shooting a CGI thing, right? But beyond that, I think my biggest gripe with it is it looks too polished. It looks too clean. There is like the main element of the design of the original thing in the Carpenter movie is that it is like goopy and wet and gross and visceral. There is like, and sometimes it's like green and, you know, and pink and stuff. Like it has weird colors. It is like distinctive. And in this movie, it is like, it's almost like they felt too beholden to being like, well, this is like based on human anatomy. So it's what part of the human body is it morphing into what, you know? And it's like, no, just stop thinking about all of that. Make it weirder, make it grosser. And like anytime you get a close up of it, the main thing to me is I was like, this looks like dry rubber. It doesn't look wet. It just looks like it's like made of plastic. That's dry. And I'm like, that is like really, really a huge issue.
Yeah.
Is that the whole fakeness of it has less to do with it not being photoreal and more to do with the fact that the texture is all wrong. And also the color is bad too. Because, like I said, in the original, it's so colorful. And in this, it's like everything is kind of like a grayish pink. And that's the only color that you really get. And it's like, no, like the vibrancy was part of the original design.
Yeah, and it sucks because I think this movie looks pretty good in other areas. I think it is, you know, it's nowhere near as stylish or as iconic as like Dean Cundy's cinematography.
Yeah.
But I think this movie is mostly well shot. I think the lighting in some cases is moody and atmospheric.
Yeah. But in other cases it is pretty poorly lit.
It does
times.
yeah, it does occasionally look too clean, but then whenever we have a CGI thing on screen, the CGI is not well lit.
Yeah.
And it looks rubbery. It lacks texture. It lacks depth. It doesn't feel like it's present in the scene. It feels like it's just pasted on.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that is the fact that it isn't photoreal. Some of that is also the fact that the areas where it tries to be photoreal, like any time we're putting a character's face onto the thing, it ends up being so poorly juxtaposed with the rest of the effect that it's like, okay, we have this photoreal head stuck onto this CGI rubber gloop glop body. And also, like, I think some of the design choices, like the concept art of these creatures is like kind of cool.
Yeah.
I would have much preferred to see the ADI effect. But some of this is like, I can see what they were going for. If they made this practically, it would look much better. But this is kind of cool the way it is. But they lack the impact of the effects in the original, or even just like good horror creature design effects, because all of these other factors are kind of negating the cool design choices. Yeah. Like when the guy's hand falls off and then it joins with the other hand, and like, that's cool.
Yes.
That's creative. I'm not going to remember that in a week.
Yeah, the hand monsters are one of the relatively few design decisions that I actually did like for the creatures. I liked a lot of the designs less, I think, than what you're describing. Like the Juliet thing where her head is like all like backwards or like leaning back, and it like opens up like half of her body. I was just like, this feels kind of over designed to me, where like the thing that I like about the Bottin effects is we're focusing on one thing at a time, usually.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's the teeth in the stomach, and then all the shit explodes out of the stomach, and we have the weird like worm thing with the head on the end and the legs. And then the head tears off the body, and we have the little crab guy. But we're focusing on each of those elements kind of independently of each other, right? And then in this, it's like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
With a lot of the thing looks where I'm like, okay, my brain can't even parse what's going on here because you've thrown too much into this design.
Yeah.
Like, focus on one or two, like, and when the guy's like face splits apart in the helicopter, I was like, the face split apart, and I was like, well, that looks like bad CGI, but this is sort of an interesting thing for the thing to do. And then the split continues, and his whole chest opens up, and then it's like full of teeth and tentacles. And I was like, it's too much. Like, if his head is going to split apart, and there's going to be something going on in there, then like do that. But as soon as it becomes his whole body just explodes into tentacles and teeth, it's like, now this is too far.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at anymore.
And we're doing a lot of we're intentionally trying to, from an artistic standpoint, design standpoint, visually replicate the tentacles and stuff from the original. It's doing a lot like the weird sort of like that like mess of like very thin tentacles.
Yeah, like jellyfish legs or whatever. Yeah.
They make that noise or whatever.
Yeah.
We're doing that a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, well, the thing can do anything.
Right.
The way that we've established it in these movies. Why not come up with something different for it? And they do that occasionally, but again, it's all it's all brought down by the CG. It's really the huge black mark on this movie.
I think the thing you said is just like the more concise way of what I was trying to drive at, which is in the original Carpenter movie, every time you see it, it looks different.
Yeah.
None of the two designs really resemble each other that much at all.
Right.
And then in this movie, so often when someone transforms, it's the same type of shit. It's teeth in the tummy, you know? And it's like, do something else.
Right.
Make it
and
look
even
different.
Even if it's not, like the human spider thing is kind of is like sort of interesting and cool.
That's my favorite design in the whole movie because it's the most different.
But again, the lighting and the texture on the CGI, the texture work on the CGI, it just all sort of like blends into that like grayish, brownish sludge that everything else CGI-wise in this movie is going for.
And I like watched this movie last night, and I'm trying to conjure what that creature even looks like in my brain right now. The split head
Yeah.
spider guy. And I can remember the faces fusing together, which is not an image that they came up with for this movie. It's one that they had to use because it's in the Carpenter movie. And beyond that, I'm like, right, I remember that it's like his back is arched and he's got legs poking out of somewhere. But beyond that, I can't even really remember what it looks like because doesn't stick in your brain, you know? And the element of it that worked for me was something they didn't even invent for this movie. It's something that Rob Bottin invented and they had to use because it was in the other movie. Yeah. Oh boy, do I hate that fucking sequence where it's chasing Joel Edgerton in the kitchen. We're doing like a little Jurassic Park thing with this monster. And it's just like a tension building sequence that leads to nothing. Because it's basically like, oh, he's hiding. He's got a knife. How's he going to defend himself against the thing? And we stretch it out for so long. It doesn't even end in a scare. It ends with the thing noticing him and growling. And then Mary Elizabeth Winstead shows up and unceremoniously flamethrows it. And it's like, what? It feels like we're just padding runtime at this point. Because none of that went anywhere. You know?
Yeah. I want to say something positive.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something positive.
Yes.
In the original The Thing, Carpenter uses this eye light to famously used an eye light to distinguish who's the thing in any given scene. So everyone has that kind of little like twinkle in their eye.
Yeah.
And the person that doesn't is the thing. And he never really draws attention to it. And in the final scene with Keith David and Kurt Russell, he abandons that completely. So you don't know who's the thing in that final scene.
Yep.
I was expecting this movie to do that again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
Which I think that's a good choice.
I think that was a good choice because while I don't know that it does enough to build the tension in any given scene about who is the thing and who isn't, it doesn't rely on that same trick that the original does.
Yeah.
It sort of fails on its own. It fails on its own merits in that case. But
yeah. I'll say another positive thing that's related to this as well. I think that the actors who end up being the thing are doing a pretty good job of like subtly telegraphing it in their performances to the point that when it's revealed, you're like, actually, that makes total sense, and I can't believe I didn't see it coming. The guy in the helicopter was a big one for me, where it's like the movie is kind of hinting that it's the other guy, that it's Olaf, who has been sort of catatonic since the other guy got killed in front of him. And the movie's basically like, oh, it's probably Olaf. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead like finds the fillings in the shower, and so we're like, oh, the thing's on the helicopter. And then it's the other guy, and his face splits apart and it looks like shit. But when that happens, I found myself thinking back to the last few scenes and being like, that guy his energy was off. Like the actor was doing something to telegraph this moment. And
Yeah.
I just wasn't picking up on it because I was falling for the red herring the way the movie wanted me to. And the same with the Juliet one, where the movie is kind of saying, oh, pay attention to this guy over here, this Norwegian nobody whose name I won't even remember. And you know, you can probably implicitly trust this other character that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is trusting. And then as soon as you basically realize with Mary Elizabeth that it's like, oh, she suggested going to some place where she would be alone with Mary Elizabeth. And obviously that means she's the thing. She was trying to get her alone. And she transforms out of focus in the background. And for half a second, the effect doesn't look bad because it's not in focus. And that moment, I was like, hey, that's kind of surprising. You sort of effectively got one over on me. So there are moments like that where I'm like, and then I think back to how Juliet had been behaving, and I'm like, of course, can't believe I didn't see this coming. It does successfully land stuff like that a few times in the movie. And I think that's when the movie's at its best, is when it's just like, oh, right, these people are behaving differently, but because the circumstances are so chaotic, I'm not noticing it in the same way that the characters aren't noticing it until it's too late.
I also I think the guy's name is Bear, the Norwegian guy who doesn't speak any English, who's like close with a dog.
Lars?
Yeah. Is it Lars?
I think it's Lars.
The like sort of brief alliance that he forms with Mary Elizabeth Winstead
Yeah.
is kind of fun after him being like sort of awkward and off-putting for the beginning of the film.
Lars is the character that I come closest to liking in this movie.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I like that he shows her the grenades because they're like cutting the power lines in the vehicles or whatever, so that nobody can escape, no things can escape. And after they get done doing that, he's like, because he doesn't speak any English, but he's basically like gesturing and being like, come over here, I got something to show you. And he just like opens this crate full of grenades and he's like, grenades. And she's like, cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah.
And then they bring him back at the end when they have to tie the movie into the opening scene of the original.
It is funny because like I knew from this movie's reputation that it backs up directly into The Thing 1982. So because of that knowledge, as soon as they introduced the one Norwegian guy who doesn't speak English, I was like, well, that's the guy who survives, because otherwise he would be yelling at Kurt Russell in English.
and to the movie's credit, and I think I this is one of the moments where it's beholden to the original that I think works. They do a very good job of visually replicating the feel of the opening moments of the movie during that. It's like in between the credits at the end.
Yes. Sadly, I do think that sequence interspersed with the end credits is sort of the best part of this movie. It's like the movie ends, credits start rolling, and then you get the best scene of the movie, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I think it works really well.
Yeah.
And it did make me want to immediately then watch Carpenter's movie. I did think about it last night. I finished this movie at like 11 p.m. and I was like, do I want to stay up till 1 and watch the thing now? But I didn't do that. Another thing that I think it works in this movie's favor, there's not a lot of well-known American actors in this. It's basically just Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Joel Edgerton. But I think this whole cast is good. I think they're not given very much to do, but I think they're all good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's weak performances in this movie. The guy from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's Christopher Hivju?
Yeah. That's, I'm sure, how you say that.
Yeah. Oh man, let's do the Nigerian guy, Adewale Akinnuoye-Agbaje.
Yeah,
who I've seen in other things. He plays a character named Adewale in Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, cool.
But he's also been in some Marvel movies and The Mummy.
Yeah.
I've seen him before.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah. The guy who plays
Joel Edgerton is not American; he's Australian.
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right.
He does a great American accent.
He does.
He really convinces you.
But yeah, Edgerton is good in this. Everybody's good in this.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because everybody's good in this that they don't give anybody more to do. I also like that the Norwegians are mostly played by Norwegian actors. I think that that's like a cool thing in this movie, is that they didn't like stack the cast with a bunch of Americans and make them phonetically pronounce Norwegian or whatever. It's like, no, we just got a bunch of like Norwegian character actors. And it would have been nice if we had given any of them a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
there's a British guy in there too.
Yeah.
That doesn't really leave an impression. It sucks. I mean, like there's people putting in a lot of work here, and I think I include the director in that. But it all feels like it's undermined by just bad decisions across the board, both creatively and mostly from the studio.
Yeah.
And even I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. At no point in this movie did I think that she was going to ever be the Thing.
Right.
And at least in the original, they make you suspicious of Kurt Russell,
yes,
even though he's the guy that you know.
Yes. Yeah, and in this movie it's basically like, well, we know that she's human.
Yeah. And her surviving, even if she is just surviving in the snowcat and, just still probably hundreds of miles from civilization.
This lady's toast, yeah.
She's probably going to freeze to death in a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish it had more of the downbeaten nihilistic feeling that the ending of the original did.
And that's why the mid-credits scene is the best scene of the movie, because it sets up the next movie, and you're like, oh fuck, things are about to get even worse, And so it's like, yeah, it's a better ending for the movie than the actual ending of the movie, which is just kind of her staring through the windshield being like, wow, that shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about the thing
Yeah.
being unable to replicate inorganic material
Uh-huh.
feels like a cool idea that doesn't really go anywhere, and it's like just they have fillings and they do it with Joel Edgerton's piercing. How is this thing replicating clothes then?
I
Like,
think
I
it's
don't
just
mean
putting-
to get cinema sins, but it's just like it feels like it's a cool idea on paper that they don't quite think through to its logical
I think
conclusion.
it must just be putting their clothes on. Like it must just be wearing the clothes. Because yeah, it doesn't make sense. But this did make me think about, though, I could never, now that we know that this is a rule of the thing, because this rule where it can't replicate or it can't imitate inorganic matter, it's maybe like implied in the first movie.
Right, but it's made explicit.
But
here.
it's made explicit in this movie where it's like, no, if you have fillings, it'll spit your fillings out when it replicates you. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, so this means I'm a heavily tattooed individual. My tattoo ink is inorganic matter. If I got the thing, I would just not have tattoos, which would be a dead giveaway. Like, if I was the thing right now, you would know for sure, because he'd be like, did he get all of his tattoos removed? And my earring, too.
Yeah. Or they should they do the thing in a reality show, like one of those housewife shows.
Yeah.
And suddenly those bimbos don't have fake tits anymore.
Right, yeah. They're just like, their silicone implants are like lying on the...
Kristen, what happened to your J cups?
Yeah, their lip fillers are like popping out
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
This does, of course, lead to the bad version of the blood test scene, which is the let me look inside your mouth and see them filling scene. The open your mouth scene.
Open the mouth. Aye!
Is this also
This is a
Kung Pao
into the fist reference.
Wow.
That might be coming up soon.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But the let's open everybody's mouth and look for their fillings. Maybe this is just me because I have never had a filling in my life. I was like, this seems like it's not going to rule out very many people.
I think people took less care of their teeth in the old days because my dad has
right.
feelings. I think my mom has fillings.
That's right. I guess this is a movie set in 1982.
Yeah.
So probably just more fillings back then.
Yeah.
But I was like I would not be cleared by this. I do have a wire retainer, so I guess that wouldn't be there. But yeah, I've never had a filling or like a crown or anything. So I would be in like Adam's shoes where he's like, "What? I'm the thing because I floss." The scene kind of sucks. It's trying to do the blood test thing, but it is so much less tense than the blood test thing, especially because it's way less like decisive. It's a way less definitive way to test, right? The tension is undermined by the fact that it's like, this does not tell us whether you're the thing or not. It tells us that you maybe aren't the thing, right? And it's like, okay, cool. We've sort of ruled out two people, kind of, you know?
Hey, we are setting dudes on fire though a lot in this, and like, I mean, if you can't give me CGI, if you're gonna give me CGI things instead of practical things,
Yeah.
at least we're setting dudes on fire.
Yes, lots of good flamethrower usage in this movie, and I will say I have been singing the praises of Mary Elizabeth Winstead throughout this episode. Seeing Mary Elizabeth Winstead walking around with a flamethrower, ain't no problem there.
Give pretty women guns.
Yes.
I like that.
I like Mary Elizabeth shooting things with a flamethrower. When she gives up the flamethrower to Edgerton towards the end of the movie, when they're like at the spaceship, I was like, no, give her back the flame. And then she gets it back at the end. And
Downgrade.
I was like, everything's as it should be. The ending moment with her and Edgerton,
Yeah.
that actually I think is kind of good. It's a moment where I was like, okay, I feel like this is sort of we're drawing a parallel to the ending of the first movie where we're just left with the two people and it's like, oh, who's the thing and who's not the thing? But instead of doing what the original movie does and leaving it ambiguous, we're actually definitively answering it this time. And we're like sending up the ending of the Carpenter movie without just replicating it one for one. And it's like the thing that tips her off is that he doesn't have his earring. And she says, like, what happened to your earring? And he reaches for the wrong ear. And I'm like, I really like that moment because it is the alien trying to be like, oh, it must have fallen out. But it's like, no, you guessed wrong.
Yeah, no.
You know?
And they have a few like quick kind of subtle shots of them looking at each other for just a little bit too long.
Yeah.
That kind of help build the tension throughout the final sequence of the movie.
Yeah.
In general. Maybe ask him to get out of the snowcat before you kill him with the flamethrower because you know that one works.
Good point. Yeah.
It is funny that she torches that entire vehicle and is like, well, I guess I'll get in the other one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe that one works.
Yeah, and he says that there's a Russian research station 50 miles away.
Yeah.
But we don't even know if that's true because he was the thing when he said that. So it's like, who even knows if there's anywhere for her to even go in the snowcat, whether it's working or not. But you're right. She would have had a better shot if she hadn't torched the vehicle that they drove up in.
I was thinking of another like idea for like an alternate ending in this movie, and we end it the way that we do, where she torches him, and then she makes it to a base, and then we imply that she's the thing.
Yeah.
So like we even though the ending of the original movie is ambiguous, just like the thing is still spreading across. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
We're fooling around with this movie.
Yeah. You could have done that.
You could have done whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And
the ambiguity of the ending is basically just, will she survive or not?
Yeah.
And the answer is probably no.
Probably no.
She's
but
probably toast.
we're not really thinking about that because she's
Cold toast.
pretty lady.
Yeah.
And the star of the movie.
Yep. We already talked about how bad the CGI looks, but I feel like it just bears repeating that the final monster that has the mean doctor's face on it, boy, oh boy, does that thing look like a fucking absolute trash fire.
Yeah, it sucks ass.
It looks so bad. It makes the earlier bad CGI monsters in this movie look better by comparison. Because his weird, uncanny, fucking herky-jerky face on that thing, it makes the head on the Juliet monster look way better by comparison. Like, it looks like ass. And then the face tears apart and there's just another fucking mouth with tentacles underneath.
And it just goes blah.
Yeah. And, that interminable fucking build-up for that lame-ass jump scare when she's going for the grenade. I literally started getting bored because it was taking so long.
I was so bored at this point that I don't even remember that sequence of the movie.
Yeah. It chases her into like a little hallway on the spaceship that's like blocked on both ends. And so she's just like backed up against a wall and its tentacles are like attacking her. And then it stops attacking for a second. And then we just like spend so long with her looking at the grenade she dropped and being like, should I go for it? Oh, the monster's still right there. And it's just like going on and on and on and on. And it's supposed to be ratcheting up tension for the jump scare that's about to happen. But I was just like, end this fucking movie already. I'm so bored.
What's with the weird Tetris column that she looks at just to be distracted long enough for the thing to attack her?
I don't know. And if we are going to have Mary Elizabeth Winstead look in sort of perplexed awe at alien technology, it has to look better than this. Like when she's looking at like those weird engine things that are like levitating or whatever, that moment is sort of the same thing, but it works a little bit better. This fucking shit ass, projected, geometric block puzzle thing, I'm like, fuck you. Like, give me a tube of goop. Give me something. Give me a fucking AI robot thing that's piloting this ship that maybe looks kind of cool. This fucking column of blue and yellow blocks did nothing for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, it almost feels like they didn't have enough time to finish a design for this part. So they were just like, hey, what's easy to animate? A bunch of cubes.
I think that's probably what happened. I think they changed the ending pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Looks bad. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
Yeah, me either.
I want to talk about it just long enough to give my verdict.
Yeah.
And then moved on.
Yeah. David, is The Thing 2011 the greatest movie ever made?
No.
Yeah.
God, no. I tried my best to go into this movie with an open mind.
Yeah.
And there are things that I like about it. However, I think this movie has the what I will refer to as the Alien versus Predator Requiem problem, where this movie could be a gentleman's 3 out of 5 stars, even a gentleman's 2.5 stars. You get some drinks in you, you fucking throw on the Thing prequel, and you have a good time. Because I think there are aspects of this movie that are pretty good. I think there's also aspects of this movie that are heavily flawed. But you could have an enjoyable experience with this movie on your hands under the right circumstances, if not for one huge, glaring flaw that robs the movie of any enjoyment. In Alien vs. Predator Requiem's case, it's the fact that the movie's so dark you can't fucking see shit. It is truly we haven't covered it. It is truly one of the darkest movies ever made, visually speaking.
I have heard this movie has this problem.
And if you could just see anything, that movie would instantly gain like 2 stars.
That's so fucking funny. It's so funny that they released it like that.
It's awful.
It is so funny to be like, hey, like we made a whole ass movie, we're putting it out in theaters, and everybody's like, what's that? What's happening?
In the case of this movie, it is Universal's decision to replace all of the practical effects made by a couple of the legends in the business, Alec Gillis, his team, and Tom Woodruff Jr., with CGI bullshit, because any moment of tension or character building in between the CGI bullshit is robbed of any of its power, because I know that it's all just going to lead up to some CGI bullshit jumping at the screen.
Yeah.
Even if the Thing didn't exist, compared to other body horror, practical effects, horror movies of past and present, and cosmic horror themes, all the stuff that came in the Thing's wake. Let's just say the Thing never happened, but we still had all those movies anyway. This movie absolutely pales in comparison to those. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Everything that is possibly good in this movie, or threatens to be good, is just drowned out by how dog awful this CGI is.
Yeah.
And how poorly implemented it is. And while I certainly think there were efforts made to respect the original and pay tribute to the original, while also give this movie its own distinctive flavor, I think those efforts were kind of all for naught.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It's very unpleasant to watch. Even in the scenes where there's no CGI bullshit, because the tension that they're building on screen isn't very good to begin with, even if they're trying. And you just know it's going to result in some fucking teeth popping out of some guy's face. And it's just going to look like shit.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I really, really, really don't like it. I hate this movie. I think I hate this movie.
Oh, okay, wow.
I've been struggling with it because there's good things about this movie, but I think, again, that just the CGI cancels them all out.
Yeah, it is a pretty damning flaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is not the greatest movie ever made. Justice is the Thing from 2011, the greatest movie ever made.
David, no, it is not. I think I hate this movie less than you do, but I also don't like it. I thought I maybe was going to for about half an hour. Even through that first alien attack, when it jumped out of the ice, I was like, this is concerning. I'm not as... I feel like the movie was more promising before this happened, and now I'm worried. And then through that first attack, where some of it's practical, and then through the autopsy, I was like, maybe I am going to like this after all. And then things really quickly go downhill. And the helicopter crash, too, because we talked about the how bad it looks when the guy transforms on the helicopter, but also the helicopter crash itself is bad CGI. like the way that the helicopter is like spinning through the sky and then it goes over the horizon and there's like a CGI puff of smoke. It looks like doo-doo. So basically from then on I was like, oh, this is truly a disaster. And that's not to say that there is nothing that I liked in this movie. I don't fully agree with you saying that like you can't even enjoy the things that this movie does well because the CGI kind of robs them of their impact. I get what you're saying, but I think that there were moments of this movie that sort of still did work for me in isolation. The autopsy with that great practical thing. I'm like, that scene, I think standing on its own is pretty good. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead's performance, for me, did kind of carry me through the movie, even though I knew that there was more shitty CGI coming.
Yeah, it is something to hang your hat on.
Yes.
In the dire moments of this film.
God bless her for being Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I have now multiple times seen her be the shining beacon of light in a bad movie. Like it seems like a thing that she has done several times. And like God bless her for like having that career. I know it can't be the most rewarding one to have. And she, of course, has had her things that have been like lauded as well. She hasn't only made stinkers. But it's like it must be that paycheck, I hope, felt very sweet and rewarding for her, because I know that she probably was not feeling a lot of artistic fulfillment otherwise, you know? And I just think that like it's very admirable to be the consistently good part of so many bad movies. But yeah, so like there's things in here that I think almost work. There's enough of them that I am not as negative on this as you are, but I also cannot recommend that anyone watch this movie. I think it is not worth your time, and I think by and large there's not a lot of reason for this thing to exist, and it's bad, and you know, the mid-credits scene is the best scene in the movie, so you know, maybe if you're interested, only watch that. Yeah, it's not good. Didn't like it.
Should we rank these?
Yeah, what's your ranking for the Carpenter copycats?
Dead Last is Halloween.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie. See our episode for more thoughts. Obviously, with all of these, see our episode for more thoughts. But my distaste for that movie is very active, and it's a real palpable emotion that I feel. My number 3 is The Thing. I'm going to give it to The Thing because while I think there are maybe aspects of this movie that are better than my number 2, I still think my dislike of this movie is pretty active, even as I am starting to forget about it less than 24 hours after watching it.
Right.
I think it is slightly better than Zombies movie, but only by a little bit.
Right. Just like a little bit more competent on like a basic structural level.
Yeah. Number 2 is The Fog. And it's a bad movie that I'm going to forget about, but it's a bad movie that I'm going to forget about. I'm not going to remember it. I'm not going to be thinking about this movie weeks from now and wake up in a cold sweat and be like, the fucking Fog. And if it was on and I was fucking pissed drunk, I could have it on in the background.
Right.
And the best is Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
Which I think is an actually good action movie. Could be better. Could be a whole lot worse. See the rest of the movies of this month. I think that one I have the most fun with. I think I will probably return to that movie at some point in the future. I hope to God that I never have to watch Zombies Halloween, The Thing 2011, or The Fog 2005 ever again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I made us watch them.
It's okay. I feel like I said at the beginning, I do think this has actually sort of been an interesting experiment for me. I'm glad I saw all of these movies once.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever want to watch any of them again. even the Precinct 13 remake, which I think leads me to my ranking.
Yes.
Dead last is, same as you, Rob Zombie's Halloween. That is easily my least favorite movie of this month. Boy, oh boy, is that just a big old pile of shit. Third for me is The Fog. I like it less than I like The Thing because The Thing has some competent artists contributing stuff. The Fog feels like a big, bland, gray nothing. And I understand your point that it's like, well, at least it's forgettable. At least it's not going to stick in my mind. But I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, the stuff that sticks in my mind about The Thing, a lot of it is going to be bad, but a teeny morsel of it will be good. And I feel like I can cling to the image of Mary Elizabeth Winstead with a flamethrower with this movie. And with The Fog, it's like there is just fucking dick all in that movie. And it also just made me viscerally angry while watching it in a way that I don't think this one quite did. I was more like perplexed, disappointed, and annoyed during this movie. During The Fog, I was like, fuck you a lot. So then it's The Thing for me at number 2. It's bad, but I also think that there is a tiny handful of almost redeeming qualities. And then at the top is going to be Precinct 13 for me. But I will say, since we did our episode on Precinct 13, I think it has aged poorly in my mind in the last couple of weeks where I'm like, was I too nice to that movie? Because the things that I think back on about it have been more negative than positive. I'm like, I think I maybe was not hard enough on how much I hate how slow and talky parts of that movie are. And I know I mentioned that criticism on the episode, but I'm like, I feel like I backed down from that point pretty quickly. And I'm like, I did really not enjoy it fucking with the pace and momentum of the original.
What I'll say about Precinct 13, I think we can maybe both agree on this, is it maybe has the Jurassic Park 3 thing, where this movie is designed to be watched in 15-minute chunks on cable TV.
Yeah.
With commercial breaks on Thanksgiving after you're like fucking sleepy.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think I would award Jurassic Park 3 that as a badge of honor, and I think I would do the same for Precinct 13.
That's fair. I think for me, Precinct 13 works for me less than Jurassic Park 3 because Jurassic Park 3 has dinosaurs in it.
That's a good point.
But that all that being said, Precinct 13 is still at the top of my Carpenter copycats list. And while you said that you thought that was like legitimately a good action movie, what I am willing to award it is I think that movie is okay. I think we watched 3 bad movies this month and 1 okay movie. And it is a country mile better than Rob Zombie's Halloween. The gulf between the number 1 spot on this list and the number 4 spot on this list is truly enormous.
Yeah.
And I do think The Fog and The Thing are closer to Zombie's Halloween than they are to Precinct 13. I think every movie is significantly worse than Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because at least that movie has people in it and kind of a story that is like interesting to engage with and makes some original choices that enhance the whole prospect of doing a remake.
You know, we had a fun month. We met Big Joe Grizzly.
Yeah.
We
got some Larry Fishburne up in here.
We got to hang out with Larry Fishburne. We got to hang out with Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah. We got to light some guys on fire.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah. We flipped some cars.
Yeah. It's funny that his last name is Byrne, and in Hereditary, he lights on fire.
Lights on fire, yeah.
And
we got to hang out with the ghosts that throw people out of windows.
Yes.
And the important thing is that John Carpenter made money off of all these movies.
Yeah. You know what I forgot to mention? There is an added vehicle crash in this Carpenter remake, too.
Yeah?
Because we crashed the fucking Snowcat. So we are 3 for 4 on Carpenter remakes adding a big vehicle crash.
And the chopper crash.
Yeah, yes. 2 vehicle crashes. Yeah.
Justice, what are we watching next week?
David, for next week's episode. Oh, wait. Hold on. It sounds like there's somebody at the door. Sorry. Hey guys. It's your old buddy George.
George?
You forget about me?
It's been a while.
I haven't been around in a while. Me and Watto have been doing a little bit of the talk show circuit. I've been strapped for cash, so I've been making some media appearances. Wow, George, you sound more and more like Kermit the Frog every time I talk to you. It's really incredible that it seems like maybe you're forgetting what your own voice sounds like. And I just figured, guys, since it's been a while since you talked about one of my movies on the podcast. Actually, let me check my notes here. You've never talked about one of my movies on the podcast.
That is true.
What kind of friends are we, you know?
I don't know that I would ever call us friends, George.
Yeah, I mean, you did just kind of take up squatting in my house, like, without my permission or anything.
Yeah, you kind of just have forcibly occupied my friend's house.
Our relationship is a little bit more coincidental, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, I care a lot about you guys, so that seems a little hurtful to me. But I figured you could make it up to me by covering a movie that I directed. How do you guys feel about that? George, I think we're amenable to that, but David and I have talked about on the show before that we don't really want to.
You've made 6 movies.
Yeah.
4 of those are Star Wars movies, and I don't know that.
We don't really want to cover one of your Star Wars movies. Well, how about one of my other non-Star Wars films then? What would you guys think about that? I guess I'd be more amenable to that. We could figure that out. So we're talking about either American Graffiti or THX 1138. Do you have a preference of which one of those you'd like to cover? I think I'll leave it up to the two of you, but it would really mean a lot to me if before you guys do your next TGME anniversary, if George could sneak in a little one for me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, me and Watto got to get out of here, so have fun picking which one of my movies you want to talk about. All right, later, George.
Bye, George.
David, I think, since it's my turn to pick, but I have been left with this Sophie's Choice by Mr. George Lucas, I think I'm going to be rolling with THX 1138 for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah. I've never seen THX 1138, have you?
I've seen it once, a long time ago.
Well.
And I actually just rewatched American Graffiti a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So I have seen all of George Lucas's films.
Wow. Well,
but I haven't seen THX in a long time.
I haven't seen American Graffiti or THX 1138. So either way, this was going to be a new one to me.
Cool.
But I figured, we can do Homeboy a solid since it seems to mean so much to him.
Yeah. Join us next week for that.
Yep.
In the meantime, leave us a comment or a review or a like, and follow us on social media at Instagram is TGM_podcast.
Yeah.
And send us email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
I'm talking.
And maybe we'll even look at it.
Yeah, probably not, but maybe we will. We love you guys so much. Kiss, kiss.
Yep.
As always.
Later,
dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen, tell your enemies to listen, tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.